Man gave names to all the animals in the beginning, in the beginning. Man gave names to all the animals in the beginning, a long time ago. He saw an animal that liked to growl.
George Eliot once said that animals are such agreeable friends. They ask no questions, they pass no criticisms. It's almost every day that we hear a friend sharing stories about his pet, be it the beloved pet waking him from his morning slumber, greeting him upon his arrival from school, or barking at a suspicious stranger. Our friend would proclaim the joys of owning a pet and even call it as his mate for life. Furthermore, ever since the dawn of time, man and animals have coexisted in the same environment. Animals have helped man since the Stone Age to plow his fields and have been man's best partners in war. Indeed, the stories of man and pet forming a relationship beyond the ordinary is limitless, as the number of animals who need protection from the hazards of man.
However, we also hear of distressing animal stories. Pets abused by owners who possess a skewed definition of animal care, animals butchered mercilessly for human intake, animals roaming aimlessly on the streets, and scavenging garbage bins for food. And other tales of inhumane treatment. The violators reason that animals can be treated viciously because that's what they are, inhuman.
The world's animal population has plummeted by a third since the 1970s. The reason, they claim, is that man continues to live beyond his means. According to the World Wildlife Fund, most of the vanishing animals are victims of overfishing, intensive farming, habitat loss, wildlife trade, pollution, or man-made climate change, and the numbers will continue to plummet if we do not make an affirmative stance soon.
As a child, did you have a favorite animal? Beautiful, outlandish, or special, that you were convinced it had magical powers? If we lost a great variety of animal species, then we'd be killing humanity's sense of wonder and inspiration.
Many of us have loved a pet, whether a cat, a horse, or a dog. And anyone who owned a pet would tell you that these animals have emotions and feelings, and that they experience a strong connection with their own pet.
Throughout history, no species has ever been as fascinated with its fellow creatures as human beings. We love the thrill of seeing animals in its environment for the first time.
What do animals do when we're not looking? It's hard to find anyone who would love to have the opportunity to learn more about animals, both rare and numerous.
When we're communicating with an animal, we humans feel less alone. This shared connection and tugging of our hearts will only persist if animals are protected and abuse is brought to the fore. How then can we best protect animals from further abuse?
We can start by looking at a local welfare organization that envisions a nation that respects animals, promotes responsible pet ownership, and protects wildlife.
The Philippine Animal Welfare Society, better known as PAWS, is a volunteer-based non-government organization whose goal is to prevent animal cruelty through education, animal sheltering, and advocacy. Animals end up in PAWS Animal Rehabilitation Center or park?
Well, first off, we get like phone calls or emails that are like tip-offs, like in the police, wherein they're neglected or abused by owners, or for some cases like dogs that are strays that are unfortunately victimized by dog meat trade or exploitation of animals.
Animals are being adopted every month or year.
Right now, we've got 243 cats in the shelter and 54 dogs. On average, on a good month, we get around 10 to 12 dog adoptions a month and 15 to 20 cat adoptions a month.
So what are your current programs as of now here in COS?
One of the biggest programs of COS is, of course, the rehab center, wherein we take in abused and neglected animals and then rehabilitate them and rehome them. But it's not just the end all of COS. We have a massive spay-neuter campaign for stray animals and own animals as well, and educate the people about responsible pet ownership. It's all blanketed under responsible pet ownership, because if you're a responsible pet owner, you'll at least consider having your dogs or cats or whatever it is spayed or neutered to prevent them from overpopulating. Another is to opt for more animal-friendly laws. COS has its share in the Bureau of Animal Industry called the Committee on Animal Welfare, wherein we take part in the decision-making as far as administrative orders or even laws concerning animal welfare is concerned.
What are the causes of animal maltreatment and abuse, and why do people do such things to animals?
Well, as far as pets are concerned, like I said earlier, it's pretty much because people bite more than they can chew. People give it to them as gifts, or when the kids see them, the kids throw a tantrum and the parents can't do anything about it, so they just buy the puppy. Or when they get the puppy is so cute. Yeah, they get a Siberian puppy, it's so small, but after 2-3 years, the dog gets really big, the poop gets big, they eat a lot, and then they decide, okay, this is not for me. It's pretty much not considering how huge the responsibility having a pet is. But that's not like it's on a small scale, those are pets. For animals in general, it's pretty much just because they're neglecting the fact that they're living beings. Most of the time, especially for big corporations, most of the time animals are seen as assets lang, or they're seen as materials to be used for the betterment of the company.
How do you think this problem, how serious is it in the Philippines? In what level is it, for me, in now?
I do believe this personally. Filipinos are very animal friendly. Most of us are animal friendly. It's just that, like I said, minsan economics get in the way. Like most of the people who we prosecute for slaughtering dogs are within the lower class community. Most of the time they're the sort of the what we call the tambays, who have no money to buy their pulutan, so they get a stray dog from the street. And most of the time it's also education. This is the frustrating part of being at COS, because whenever we file legal case against whoever's been maltreating the animals, most of the time even the police ask us what did they violate. So it's pretty much educating people about the animal welfare laws, or not just the laws, how to be a responsible pet owner, because if you're a responsible pet owner, everything follows.
How involved is the Philippine civil society in supporting and implementing animal welfare rights?
Most of the time, people are the audience, so to speak, whenever we go out in the media and teach people about responsible pet ownership. But we always tell people it starts with the individual. Like, so for example, the spay-neuter campaign, whenever we encourage, like, a person to spay and neuter, and then the rest of the neighbors are like, no, don't do that, kasi ganyan, kasi ganon. But they see the benefits. They see that the cats or the dogs are healthier, they see that the dogs are well-behaved, the cats are well-behaved, and then they start asking, what happened to your cats? Bakit biglang gumanda, tumaba, ganyan. And then that person, in their own way, starts educating the other people. It's like a domino effect, so to speak.
You can start a trend towards responsible animal ownership by educating yourself on the basics of pet care and assessing if you have the means and time to own and care for a pet.
Show that you care. Be involved in the fight against animal cruelty by being informed about animal welfare laws and actively participating in causes toward animal protection and rehabilitation.
We can never imagine the impact we can have on the lives of animals, the same way that they can probably turn our lives around, or at least add more joy to it, unless we open up ourselves to them. Just drop by the PAWS Animal Rehabilitation Center here in Quezon City and inquire about their current programs and campaigns.
If you want to do something nice for the animals, come here to pause and volunteer. I am Dots.
I'm Nico.
It's just 2 LRT trains away from that. I'm Selena.
And I'm Avis. Hope you enjoyed watching our documentary and learned much from it, as much as we did learn much from it and enjoyed making it. Thank you.